Hello and welcome into the Sporting Pod, along with the returning Tony Allegretti and the omnipresent Emerson Burris. I'm just Cole Pepper. Coming up today on the pod, drama. We've got drama. The Gainbridge Super League is going down to the wire. How the men are keeping the faith as they search for positive results, and a report from Monday night's town hall for the Sporting JAX Academy. We are fed by the Bearded Pig, locally owned and operated with the original location in San Marco. Make sure you swing by the Bearded Pig for great barbecue and great times. That was a double dose.
Yes.
After missing last week.
Yes. But
Don't worry.
I know you
I
did
tried.
great. Yeah. I've heard good things.
A much more feminine
Yeah.
snort the last time around.
Yeah.
All right. Boy, this is a time in the year, if I may peel back just a little bit, the curtain here. When we first started this venture, and I don't mean the podcast, I mean the teams. Tony, you'll remember this before Emerson was here. I sat in one of our staff meetings, which was probably 4 people at the time, and said, guys, we're going to have to think about how overlapping seasons impact everything. Whether it comes to when we get a break, when how we handle sponsorships, how we manage just the day-to-day traffic, broadcasts, everything. Having 2 seasons that overlap where the only time in the year where there's truly no soccer is over the holidays has brought with it some challenges and some great opportunities as well. Opportunities like a doubleheader or 2, which are also challenges, but they're great opportunities there. And one of the things that I didn't think about at that time was, all right, how do you prioritize when you have one team coming to the end of the season and the other team just a quarter of the way through their season? And it's very interesting because in real time, we are figuring out, it's not like we're ignoring one team or the other, but it's, all right, last week both teams were at home. So how do you handle the promotion and the PR and all that?
The eggs, the competitive eating.
How do you get enough eggs for Joey Chestnut to pour down his gullet?
Do you guys know how many he ate, by the way?
I think it was 94.
90-something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long?
Like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all.
Next week, bacon. But what we have, and part of this too is based on some conversations I've had with local news media, sports news media. Folks are really jazzed about what Sporting JAX is doing on the women's soccer front, as they should be. And here we are with the final home game of the regular season coming up on Sunday at 5 p.m. Not a Saturday game, by the way. Sunday game, 5 p.m. As the ladies look to bounce back from consecutive losses for the first time this season. They've conceded multiple goals in consecutive games for the first time in this half of the season. It's Fan Appreciation Day, a Kate Parks designed T-shirt for the first 100 fans, and it'll be on Channel 4 and Peacock. But while we are fairly certain this is going to be a team that's going to be in the playoffs, it's not cinched yet, Tony.
No.
So this is, in some regard, a last chance.
We absolutely need Jacksonville people to come out and root our first ever women's anything team.
Yep, women's pro team. Yeah.
Pro team. Yes, let's go.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, Sunday at 5 o'clock can be kind of a tough ask.
Yeah.
Because you have school day the next day.
No excuses.
Yeah, but you can get tucked in early. On a 5 o'clock kick. You're home by 7:30.
You're home by 7:30, 7:45 at the latest, depending on where you live.
Yeah.
So we want to get everybody out there. I think we are going to learn an awful lot about this team on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, if we, there's no really good time to have a gut check or to, completely lose the plot, but before the postseason might be the time, right? Mm-hmm. So this might, with this a little bit of a wake up call. Hopefully, we've recognized some of our gaps that we're seeing last couple of games, and we bounce back and we give the fans something to cheer about and hopefully earn another home game.
Yeah, if Sporting JAX wins and Carolina loses or draws, we would clinch a at least one home playoff game.
Good. Okay.
The margin between Sporting JAX and Lexington right now, though, is down to 1 point, Emerson.
Yeah.
So
Indeed.
This is a tight race.
It sure is. And we spoke to some of the ladies this week, and they're aware of how tight this race is. Everyone says one game at a time, but they're aware of what's going on. They said they played sloppy in the Lexington game, and even Meg said after the loss in Spokane, she's going to play angry. So I hope that anger comes out of her again against Brooklyn, and Brooklyn's a very aggressive and very physical team, so hopefully we get the best out of our girls this weekend.
I thought Meg had one of the better games against Lexington. Created the penalty. It was, though, we've seen some sloppy passing, and that's one thing that sometimes can be attributed to fatigue. But this is a team that's going to have to push through, because after this game, I just want to look ahead a little bit. After this game, they'll go to D.C. on Wednesday. So they'll play on Sunday, rest day on Monday, travel day on Tuesday, play on Wednesday. They will not train between those two games. They will not have a full training opportunity. Physically, they can do some mental reps and look at film and that sort of thing. But then they turn around after that and finish up the season at Carolina in a game that Carolina might need for
it's a
playoff
tasty
position.
one. Yeah,
we'll
it's a
see.
tasty one for them. Yeah.
And if you compare with what Lexington has, and Emerson, why don't you roll down what Lexington has?
Yes, they are at Spokane, then play at home against Brooklyn, and then home against Tampa.
So both have home games against Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Spokane, who finishes the entire season at home with their last 5 games will have been at home. And then Tampa, who's already been eliminated from contention and have lost 4 straight. You figure that's 3 points for Lexington. I mean, you just have to, if you're going to play this and say, what are we going to need?
Did you guys see where Lexington was trolling us online?
I did.
Yeah, I just want to put that out there. Make sure that that's been printed.
Bulletin board material.
I'm okay with some competition, friendly competition and banter, but that felt a little rude.
Yeah, it was rude. It was a bit rude.
And then the other thing I will point out is that when the Gainbridge Super League puts out their power poll,
nowhere to be found.
The top 4, they put the top 4 every week. And here's the team with the best record, the most wins, the most goals, and not included in the power poll.
Yeah.
So
I think
also
we've got a lot to prove on Sunday.
Yeah, it's a good wake up. That's what we need. So fine. But also, I think I've probably talked about how I feel about power polls. There's only really one, and that's the table.
Yeah.
And we're on top of that.
Heck
so
yeah.
let's roll.
Well, I'm just going to make sure that Stacey Balaam has seen this, so she's aware.
She will have.
I don't know how this team is with bulletin board material. I think
probably nonplussed, but
some may be more motivated than others.
Yeah.
I can see Meg Hughes taking umbrage.
But it was weird.
Definitely.
It was rude and out of character.
Yeah,
I agree.
So we'll see how that plays out. But again, we want to see everybody out at Hodges Stadium Sunday, 5 p.m., Channel 4 and Peacock for the broadcast, and hopefully 3 points and get things headed back in the right direction as the playoffs approach.
Yep.
Season tickets are on sale now for the Sporting JAX men's team. You can get the prorated season ticket, the best price per game available, the ticket exchange program, and an interest-free payment plan all come with it. Call 904-863-KICK or visit sportingjax.com today. Speaking of the men, they play at Charleston at 7:30 on Saturday. Tony, are you going up to this one? You've taken the train before.
I'm on the fence. I'm not taking the. We were just talking about the train. I'm not taking the train this time. If I do go, but the hotels are they're obscene in Charleston.
Yeah.
I
have a couple of suggestions for you based on past visits, and I'll see if I can.
Okay, cool.
We can talk offline about that.
Yeah.
This is another game against a top team.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, again, it's not just the schedule makers,
Yeah.
but the USL and the Eastern Conference of the USL in particular is no joke.
No.
I mean, you will get put through the ringer in this conference, and when you look at who Sporting JAX has seen, first place, Louisville. Second place, Tampa.
Yeah.
Third place, Detroit. Fourth place, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Now, here comes fifth place, Charleston.
Right.
We also saw sixth place, Hartford. We will see Indy 11, seventh place, and we've seen Miami FC, eighth place twice.
My goodness.
So, so far, and by the way, the other game, Rhode Island, 9th. So we've literally seen the entire
front runners.
Top half, top 2/3 of this conference so far, without having games against the likes of Brooklyn, Birmingham, or Loudoun, and so
we got some work to do.
Got some work to do, no doubt about it. Looking for the first win still, and I talked with Ryan Edwards on the radio show this week, and I said, "How do you keep, as a veteran? How do you keep things up?" Because I've been through this. I've been through rough stretches. And it doesn't do any good to get negative because you'll never come out of it. So even if you don't have positivity and enthusiasm, just act like you do. And I said, fake it till you make it. He's like, that's exactly what he's doing as a veteran leader and advising his teammates to do so.
Dita, in our post-game interview, Dita Armstrong said back to the drawing board. And maybe we'll see some changes on Saturday. And Liam said in his post-game interview as well that at least in the cup games, he was going to get some players in that haven't been playing a whole lot. So I'm trying to hang on.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
This is a league fixture. It is. So no cup games for a bit.
We've been in every game. We just need a complete game.
Yeah, 4 straight 1-0s is heartbreaking.
There's been some nuance, I think, with the refereeing. I don't hope to not get fined by talking too much about them, but we haven't had one good break, and we need that. We need the ball to bounce our way one time, and we get the dub, and we'll be off the schneid.
So I don't know, Tony, if as a rooting fan, you've been through this before, or Emerson, or in your broadcasting tenure. I have had some years as a broadcaster covering teams that have really struggled. A 1-26 JU Dolphins basketball team where Cliff Warren came in too late in the recruiting process to really to be able to recruit to the team. That was trying. Several Jacksonville Jaguars seasons, including a 2-14 campaign. And even though I pride myself on staying objective and not emotional, I try not to let results decide my mental state. You just like something, you'd like something here to pop up. A draw in Charleston, I think, would feel like a win.
Yeah, we would take that.
And I will also say, let me just pull up the weather. The weather in Charleston this weekend could be a bit of an equalizer. Excuse me, I get on this. Here we go, Charleston.
That front coming through.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to not use this particular weather site because it just doesn't work very quickly.
Name and shame them.
Weather Channel. It's got so many pop-ups and ads and everything else.
The Liverpool echo of weather sites.
I mean, it's something.
So bad.
But if you look at Charleston weather, on Saturday, starting sometime at some point in the day, rain is expected. Okay. So
Tim Deegan over here.
Well, no, I'm just pointing out that the expectation is sometime between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. There's supposed to be some weather hitting. Yeah. So we'll see how it plays out. Sometimes that equalizes.
Kick is at 7, though,
kicks
right?
Kicks at 7 or 7:30. 7:30.
That's so far past my bedtime.
Well, you're going to have to hang in there for it, Tony. I'm sorry. So we'll see how the men can turn things around. Want to remind you that the Sporting JAX Report comes to you at 12:30 on Saturday on NBC 12 this week. And join us every Tuesday at 6 for the Coaches Show on 1010XL. You can listen live and on demand at 1010XL.com. We have the likes of Liam Fox, Stacey Balaam, and Sporting JAX players joining me each and every week. Let me just double-check that time and date. Yeah, that was incorrect. This week it is noon Sunday. Noon Sunday on WTLV NBC 12. Okay. Monday night, I was there, and I'm not expecting you guys to report on this, but react. We had the town hall meeting for the Sporting JAX Soccer Academy. I'm going to say something in the 1,000 to 1,200 range of people, families, kids showed up at the UNF Arena to get the town hall to kind of start the season. Competitive tryout start here in May, so we're just about there. And one of the things that I found to be most instructive was the conversation, two things that were said. One, Liam Fox and Mark Warburton both talking about young players and the pathway to the pros and saying if they're good enough, they're old enough. So there's without regard to age, and we can reference Ethan Underwood for that, 16-year-old who just signed with the team. But also, the other thought was about what Sporting JAX is doing in terms of coaching education. And there's a real push to get more coaches with at least their C license, USSF C license, and beyond. I think what, in some regard, it's a long-term play here by bolstering coaching education, having more licensed coaches. Tony will impact players at all levels, but it really will pay off down the line. Sometimes it's tough to say, like, what's the ROI on this? But at some point, we're going to see a big ROI.
Yeah, it's an infrastructure play by Mark, who's got experience doing this and building clubs from the academy up, and so we're going to see fruit from it eventually. But long term, it's going to be great because it helps hold up our philosophy, our curriculum. Everybody gets on the same page. It's super important, and it's probably one of the reasons that soccer in America needs to catch up, because we're not coaching our coaches and learning the game.
Yeah, and Emerson, you would have loved the excitement level of the kids. What they did, they put on the scoreboard at UNF a QR code at the end to get find out their coaching assignments, who their coach was going to be. The number of phones that went up all of a sudden. This is a modern way of doing it, but obviously the academy is hugely important for not only Sporting JAX but for soccer in this region.
Yeah, I think if I was a young player, I'd be so excited about the women's team right now. I'd want to go to all their games. I think it's exciting that they get to hear from Stacy at an event like that. I mean, Georgia Brown goes down to veterans and coaches quite often, so I think these young kids have a great opportunity at their fingertips.
All right, let's get to our Premier League contest.
Let's do it.
Last week, Emerson took Spurs over Wolves. Winner.
Yay.
Tony took Arsenal over Newcastle. Winner. Cole took Everton over West Ham.
Loser.
And so the tables have turned. Not quite turned. 54 points. I'm on top. Tony at 53. Emerson with 49. It is getting tight down
close.
To the wire. And remember, you can only pick the same team twice.
Indeed.
So let's go with Tony's pick here.
Yes, I am going to take Bournemouth over Palace.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't like picking against. There's teams that I don't like picking against, and Palace is one of them because I got some boys that love Palace. Shout out Cavendish. But I just, we're running out of options.
Yeah. The reason I think it's so interesting, I put in here before you made this pick, Emerson,
I saw it.
the same thing. Bournemouth over Palace.
Yep.
And I like.
So you're not going to let me catch up?
Not this week. This is my second time picking Bournemouth, by the way, so I can't pick them again. Let's see if Tony.
Sometimes the defense is the best offense.
Tony, this is your second time picking Bournemouth, so Bournemouth is out for you for the future.
I don't even want them to win now.
And Tony, by the way, has more teams that he's taken twice already than the rest of us in this. So, Emerson, your pick for this week.
I'm taking Leeds over Burnley, and it will be my second time taking Leeds.
Well, second for all of us here. So,
yes.
All right, we'll see how it all plays out. Of course, as we know, the winner receives the first annual Tony Allegretti Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence.
Yes.
So we look forward to awarding that
it's a major award
to the winner. It's a Fragile.
From
must be
Italy.
Italian.
Yeah.
So we will have that to award at the end of our competition. And then I think maybe we need to get into a World Cup competition of some kind after that.
I like that.
Yeah. So we'll get that going. All right. This is a a little shorter than usual. We're just right at the 20-minute mark, so we'll wrap it up here.
I was going to say.
Oh, excuse me.
Just
we
a
have
couple
some.
things.
Yeah, just
Sorry,
a couple
Cole.
things. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, Emerson, you want to break?
Yes. Tune in to the Sporting JAX Report this Sunday because I sat down with the former Georgia Bulldog Abby Boyen, and she also played in the NWSL. Got some great stuff from her. And then also, I was looking on the USLW Instagram page, and yesterday they posted some players to watch.
Yeah.
Grace Ivy is going to be playing with us this summer.
Yeah,
She's currently at Auburn.
Yeah, former Bartram
So,
Trail.
yes.
She was one of the better players on the squad last year, and then late in the season injured her knee.
Yeah.
And so she'll be bouncing back. I also saw that Aliyah Fadul, who was a goal-scoring
she was
machine
so
last
good.
year,
Awesome.
will be playing with Eagle FC,
Yeah.
which I think is in Pennsylvania. So we won't see her, but we'll be talking a little bit more about the W League roster
I'm excited.
as we get a little closer. Tony, do you have
Awesome. Yeah, I was just going to say shout out to my besties, Trevor and Marissa Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
We had a big thing. It was the most secret thing because it was really about the kids. This last weekend before the doubleheader, we did a nice half soccer, half flag football clinic with some amazing young students that deserved a break. But it was Trevor and Marissa's first sort of dip of the toe in community events, and they're working on their foundation. So it was a real pleasure to work with them and to do some good in the community.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. We'll be highlighting that on the Sporting JAX Report, and it may be something you may have missed if you saw coverage elsewhere on the event that Sporting JAX was involved. Just saying.
Yes.
All right.
I have a leave coursing through my body after that. What a tough day that was.
Long day.
They don't get you ready for doubleheaders, but to have all that before the doubleheader was a lot.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right. For Tony Allegretti and Emerson Burris, I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks so much for listening to The Sporting Pod.